The theme of our programs this year have been on mindful wellness. And I think when you look at the definition of the two words, wellness is, pretty obvious, I think, for the most part. It's just being well in body, mind, and spirit. And mindful is just really the attempt to quiet the mind. Mindfulness has become a buzzword over the past probably 5-7 years and is becoming more and more popular, all the way from elementary school up now into the military, professional sports teams, celebrities, and so forth. So it's really sort of becoming extremely well-known and popular. And when you talk about the definition of mindful, I think this little slide is a perfect example. And get to that. As adults, our mind is full of stuff throughout the course of the day, right? We're always we're thinking about what we're going to be doing later in the afternoon or that evening. Maybe we're a little upset about what happened the day before. We have a lot of these different emotions that are going through our mind, which are causing a lot of chatter and a lot of unnecessary stress and a lot of unnecessary words going through. When you think of children, we've had an opportunity to spend some time with our grandchildren recently. I mean, I think a child is a perfect example of somebody who is really mindful because, they're in the present moment, okay? They're having fun playing with their siblings, playing with their cousins or whatever it is they're doing. They're not worrying about what's going to happen, down the road. So maybe that's, I think in the Bible there's even a quote to become more childlike. And, when you think of that, it's probably important to think of it not only, to think of it in terms of your whole mindset. So, but in any event, so tonight we're going to be, again, talking about some mindful wellness, some simple choices to be well. And that's what this is really all about. It's simple choices. There's nothing here that is complex. There's nothing here that is that difficult. But there's simple choices that if you do make, I think you find that in the end it's going to be beneficial to your health to being well. And so what we want to do, we meet here once a month, is to really give you and we haven't done this yet, is to give you a 30-day challenge, okay? We have a list of 10 items that we'll be talking about tonight, and give you a challenge to maybe pick, even if it's just one or two of these items on the list that you feel you can do a little bit better. To help you become maybe just a little bit healthier, okay? So as we go through these 10 items on the list, we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about them. We're going to get some feedback from you too, if there's anything that you want to add to that, because again, we're far from being the experts here, and really what we're looking to do is just to put some thoughts and some ideas out there for you for discussion. So, one of the first things we always talk about is the importance of drinking water, okay? And the suggested amount of water to drink is half of your body weight in ounces daily. And I think something that we talk about is clear in and clear out, so that when you do urinate, your urine is clear. Okay, that's when you know you're properly hydrated. Okay, so if you're drinking a lot of water during the course of the day, but your urine still isn't clear, that means you still need a little bit more into your system. Okay, so and no soda of any kind. No soda of any kind. That's one of the key components of being properly hydrated. So, Tammy, anything you want to?
Just thank you for coming. Mm-hmm. And again, sometimes few of you have heard some of the stuff we're going to discuss tonight. Would just like to reiterate, because sometimes you hear it again and you go, oh, I missed that, or, you know what, I do need to work on that. So as far as the water, we talk about finding water, it sounds silly, but water that you enjoy, meaning if you're someone who doesn't like cold water, like my daughter cannot drink cold water, just she can't do it, then you're not gonna drink cold water. So you need to make sure that you're having water to your liking, and water that, if you can't drink plain water, something that you add to it, whether it's just the lemon, the cucumbers. We talked about the True packets last time. So instead of like Crystal Light, something with the fake artificial in it, you could get the True. They dab a little bit of stevia in it, but that's at least something. If you feel like you just need a dab of apple juice, something that, but you still have the water. People were talking about the caffeine in coffee and tea. Yes, you are still getting water in there, right? Because that means mainly water. Caffeine is a diuretic if it's a, hefty amount, but, so we don't want you to consider that that's all you should be drinking is stuff like that. Also, we say like the weekends is usually where people go bad. The weekdays, usually people have a set routine. The weekends come and it's like, oh, I didn't drink any water today. So we talked about on the phone, throwing a little alarm on there on the weekend that just kind of goes off every couple of hours, drink water, something like that, having it in your car, just simple things. I don't know, did anyone drink more water since the last time? Has anyone put that in their diet a little bit? You put some more in?
Yeah, I can get tours of the bathrooms now. It's amazing where I never knew there were bathrooms in Cumberland Farms. And
See, so it's crazy. And from a nutrition standpoint, Dave will quickly run through these, but we talk about fiber. Getting fiber in your diet is great, but if you don't have enough water to bind with it, the purpose of it is not going to happen. So you need to make sure that you're having enough water for that. And he's going to run through these here, which is all the other important reasons why we need water.
In two other suggestions or recommendations is that they say that when you wake up, one of the first things you should do is to drink a warm glass of water. And then at the end of the day, just before you go to bed, drink a warm glass of water. And that's supposed to help prevent a stroke.
And you're a massage therapist, Diane. I heard also that helps with the lymphatic system, drinking, right? To push everything through. Nice.
Okay, Tammy, I'm going to let you do the reading.
Okay.
I'm going to do the point.
Yeah, that's fine. So you'll digest your food better. Okay, it will help you to stay focused and concentrate, which is a big, big thing. People definitely feel better if they're well hydrated. You can function more. Helps keep your kidneys flushed out, which when you start drinking more, you are gonna have to pee more, and your kidneys will regulate. Eventually they will regulate and you'll be able to take in even more water. It'll help you prevent you from dehydration. One of the number one visits to the emergency room for all different things is dehydration. They come right down with those IVs, they put you up, it's like, oh yeah, dizziness is gone, or my headache's gone. Helps you to burn fat, it prevents constipation, decreases fatigue. A lot of people just are like, oh, I'm so tired. And if you really think about it, and people think, what do I even drink for water? No wonder why. Your body is mainly water. Helps carry oxygen to the cells, okay? It will help you feel fuller, and help maybe to lose weight, and it can help prevent the headaches. That was the number one thing they always do with the children, is when young kids have headaches, they always first say, okay, how much is your child drinking? Because they need to drink water. So they always do that first. We love David.
It's time for today's HoW hack. Water is truly our best bet when we're thirsty and trying to stay hydrated. And how do we make this healthy habit an easier one to stick to? There are 3 easy ways to help make water your top choice of beverage. First, start by clearing out all of those sugary drinks like soda from your fridge. One 12-ounce can has about 8 teaspoons of added sugar, which can contribute to a lot of health problems. Next, keep a water bottle on hand during the day. Making it easy to read can help keep you motivated to make water your drink of choice. The National Institutes of Health say getting enough water can help regulate our body, and that includes heart rate and body temperature. Finally, if it's taste that's holding you back, try adding some flavor in a healthy way. Cut up a lemon or a cucumber and add that to your water. You'll be getting great taste and a lot of benefits. They're both high in vitamin C and other nutrients And before you know it, you'll be on your way to healthy hydration. For more health hacks, head to livinghealthytv.com.
We write these, you know that we write these, right? For them.
Okay, question?
When you see the portions like grams of sugar on a package, how does that translate to teaspoons?
We're gonna get to that right now. Is our next little subject.
Yep.
So I'll get right into that
Okay,
for you.
before we hop into that, we'll get an answer to that question. Anybody else in terms of water, anything, Jane? Anything?
I would just say that tap water is tested more carefully than bottled water. I'm on a number of groups that are trying to get us to not use bottled water. It costs about 3 to 4 bottles of water to make each plastic bottle.
Yeah, and they're truly not so.
And they only get recycled about 5 or 10% of them. So if you can, bring a reusable bottle with you during the day. If you don't like the way your water tastes at home, try some of the suggestions you've had, or you can, run through some kind of a little purifier or something.
MIT did a study that they followed for 10 years, and they realized that with the whole, say, recycling, there's more trash and more plastic because people are going to the plastic because in their head they're thinking we're recycling, right? And so they're ditching it, so they're buying, there's so much more consumption of plastic, and because everyone's going for these bottles, because they're like, oh, well, I'll just recycle them, right? And they said, they found that it is actually going the wrong way. My mother also works for the Salem Beverly Water Department, and she says the same thing. She's like, the water, people's tap water this is not tested. This is not regulated, none of this is.
It falls through the cracks.
But I will tell you, if you wanna check, we've done this before at a talk that I've given, Jan was there. You can go into this site, the EWG, which is the Environmental Working Group, okay? Go under the menu and go to the water. You put in your zip code. They will tell you where your water you'll tell you where your water comes from, what source. And then it will give you a list of the chemicals in it. Ones that may be carcinogens and ones that aren't, okay? And it is interesting because Barnstable, I'm trying to think, Barnstable wasn't terrible, but I think Sandwich was worse. But then when we were looking at where I'm from, where my mother works, that was great. And then my friend was here from Lexington and she was like, oh my God, 16. So it's interesting, and that all kind of started formulating after, what was the movie?
Aaron Brockovich.
Yeah, Aaron Brockovich,
Oh,
right?
yes,
So
yes,
that was
yes,
one
yes.
thing she got passed, was that they need to
Yeah.
test and take
That's
I mean,
right.
you're always gonna have a little arsenic and some things in this, but there was stuff in there, there was no need to be in there. So it's a nice little website for people to check out their water, because she's right, filling it up is fine. Or again, I don't love the taste of my tap water, but what I just do is hook it through the filter, and it really does filter out the chlorine.
And the cost is actually
it's-
about 1,000 times more expensive if you buy bottled water
Wow.
Oh,
than
wow.
if you get tap water.
Yeah, we were talking about the market, how the market is making a fortune.
There's
Right.
some very funny YouTube videos about the early days of bottled water of a couple Frenchmen joking with each other. Oh, they'll never pay for putting tap water in a bottle and charging $1 or $2, and they're yucking it up about how that'll never
But you're
happen.
right, we can start
Sure
bringing
enough.
our little thing of
Yes.
water to
Yeah.
pour.
It's a huge thing. It's
Instead of
a
these.
big
Thank you.
fundraiser for Coke and Nestle's and
Isn't there plastic particles in water bottles sometimes?
Yeah, probably. Sure.
If what happens with the carcinogens in this is they leach usually in the warmth
Yeah.
or frozen. So if you were like to freeze your water bottle, okay, it's gonna crack into and it takes some of the particles out. If it's in the heat, that's why they tell you not in your car and certain things like that, because it will leach. Same thing with like if you microwave plastics, that kind of can melt in. So yes, I can do that.
One thing that we do in the morning is boil water, and
Good old fashioned way.
boil water and then put it into a stainless steel jug in the refrigerator, and then go to that during the course of the day. So
Or drink it warm too.
Drink it warm, yeah, that's the other thing.
I love it warm.
Yeah, first
Yeah.
thing, particularly first thing in the morning to drink warm water, particularly with lemon or cucumber, so. Anything else with water before we wrap it up?
Can I just say one thing?
Sure.
They had a program, you were probably out the way back in 2008,
Mhm.
you know, and it was that, they put it in the newspaper, it was like this big, and they were trying to get people to, you know, lose weight, it was like a 2-month thing. They worked, and, they had the people from the Biggest Loser that were from like, New Bedford and stuff come and speak to it, and it was a big deal, you know, and at that point, everybody had like, you know, their own, not these, I don't even know if they had these then, you know, and they were walking around, and that was the fad. Now the fad is everybody's walking around with these. So what happens in a store to all these fancy bottles with all these things, you never see anybody with one.
Because what they do is all the marketing.
Yeah.
They make a
Right.
fancy looking bottle, or they'll do, you know, they put the, what's the Fiji water, and that's like $4 a bottle.
Right.
And certain, just because again, people know we need to drink water, so they market it, you know, and everything's got the splash and the this and that, exactly, it should just be your regular, you can't.
Well, I grew up in Lynn, right?
And I grew up in Salem.
So you were right next door, so we could never drink our water because,
Lynn.
you know, the
Lynn was-
16,
yeah.
you know, 100, you know, so, yeah, really. So my father always used to, he worked at GE and he was an engineer,
Right,
but he
mine too.
always used to go to Middleton and the Springs and just
Mhm.
bring home bottles. In fact, when he passed
Hamilton,
away,
Wenham,
yeah, there were hundreds of bottles that we
Wow.
still had,
yeah,
you know, glass bottles.
yeah.
I mean, one whole room up in our house was just nothing but, and he used to give it to the garbage guys.
Sure.
After the,
The reservoirs, yeah.
yeah, we never drank.
We didn't drink the Lynn water.
No.
Salem water was better,
But
but we
we,
didn't
but
drink
no,
the
but we drank the Middleton and the, you know, the other one, yeah.
How many people here feel that they drink enough water during the course of the day? Yeah, couple,
Yeah,
okay,
3,
okay,
4.
okay.
yeah.
Well, again, we're talking about a 30-day challenge, so this may be one of those little
You might
items
wanna
that you
circle that one.
can circle and say, you know what, I'm gonna make an attempt to drink a little bit more water during the course of the day. So, next item is to eat fresh and less sugar. Eat the rainbow, no more than 8 teaspoons of sugar per day.
So again, we talk about when we say eating from the rainbow, when you're actually looking at your plate, you know, what's colorful, truly, because a lot of times it's pretty bland. People look down at their plate and it might just be the plain chicken and maybe some rice and, you know, things that maybe even just bland cucumbers that aren't even really super colorful with it, you know, where's the rainbow? So you try your best to eat the colorful foods, as we know, they're filled with the flavonoids and all of that. You're trying to think of every meal having something colorful. So if you have eggs for breakfast, maybe there's blueberries and raspberries, something bright. My father used to love the quote, anything blue is good for you. And then, you know, at lunch, where's the greens? Where's all the color that's gonna go into, if you are having a wrap, load it in, put the avocado, put the crunchy stuff in, and make it something than just turkey and your wrap, again, that's no color. Afternoon snack, your hummus with your vegetables and certain things like that. And then your evening, put in the broccoli, the greens, the carrots, stuff that, you know, the more you have of that, the better you're going to feel. It's like we say, you add that in, you actually will start craving that. People start craving salads instead of craving pizza, because you put more of that into your body, you're gonna function better. So, this, I like this one, this was good. You are what you eat, so don't be fast, cheap, easy, or fake. That's a good one. When we talked about the sugar, okay, we eat the average American eats around the 200 pounds of added sugar a year. And we talked last night, there was a woman who said, I have not had a muffin since the last talk when you told me how many grams of sugar was in a muffin. Because we don't see it. Like I say, unless you're making it, you just pick it up. Same with at the market. You don't know that there's the white flour, it's gonna, you know, bloat you out. And then you don't see the butter or the oil that they put in, and then you don't see the salt that goes in, and then you don't see the sugar. You just smell the nice muffin, and it's like, oh, this is heaven, right? And so again, thinking of that type of stuff. So when we talk about the added sugar, we talked about labels that are coming out. And on the label, it will have your total carbohydrate, which includes natural starch, and then there's fiber, which is you can't insoluble, and you'll subtract that from the total number. So again, if we had 20 carbohydrates and there was 5 grams of fiber, 20 minus 5 is 15. That would be the actual fiber that you're gonna the actual carbohydrate you're gonna digest from that. So diabetics know that a lot because they have to go by, the net carb. But then underneath that, that's also included in that total, is your sugar, okay? Right now, it just says sugar. So people go, well, is it added sugar, or is it sugar from the dates? Or is it sugar from the actual product, right? From the dairy, the lactose, which has sugar. So you're always gonna have a yogurt that's gonna have sugar in it because it's made, if it's, a dairy one. But now the new label underneath that is gonna say added sugar. So of the total of sugar, it's gonna say how much is added. And that's what's gonna be important, because if something says it's 15 grams of sugar and 12 are added, well then there's really nothing natural in it, so that's something you don't want. If something says, it's 20, hopefully not, but say 20 grams of sugar and 2 are added, then that's something that's a natural sugar product. Do you follow what I'm saying? Like it's coming from its source.
Right.
Okay? So that's where it gets tricky, because people always get nervous when they look at yogurt, even if it's like a Greek yogurt. A plain Greek yogurt, it's still gonna have sugar in it, maybe like 12 grams, okay?
Oh, yeah.
So with that, there's 4 grams of sugar in a teaspoon, okay? So this would be, if we did no more than 8 added a day, that's 32 grams of sugar you're allowed a day in a healthy range that you're gonna burn off. Now don't get me wrong, it's 14 calories a teaspoon. It's not crazy caloric-wise like that, but it makes you crave. So people who eat sugar end up eating about 800 more carbs a day. In calories. Because it's what you crave. Okay, and the artificial sweeteners, which are dangerous and more, cause cancer, those are triple sweet. So it triggers you to feel like I need more, I need sweeter. So you keep going. So the Diet Cokes are just kind of like making the problem worse. So again, on that type of stuff, you try to ease off. If you drink a couple Diet Cokes a day, you try to go to 1, then you try to buy little cans, and you try to put in like maybe the dark cherry seltzer, so you still get that like crisp feel, and stuff like that. So that was what we talked about kind of in the sugar way. So that's a challenge too, to really look at how many grams of added sugar you do and maybe cut back a little bit onto that. And then tonight I just wanted to add something new in there, which was the portions and servings. Because then I get a lot of times people, well, I eat great food. All right, we always say, I always throw that one out there. You've always heard me say, who eats to live and who lives to eat, right? The majority of people live to eat. It's a social thing, it's a fun thing, it's an emotional thing. It's just we like to eat, right? We're bored. It's really, we're supposed to be eating to live. Okay, what are we eating that's making us, stay alive and healthy? So a portion, what's the difference between a portion and a serving? So a portion is the amount of food that you choose to eat at a meal or snack. It can be big, small, you decide. A serving is the actual measured amount of food or drink, such as 1 slice of bread or 1 cup of milk, okay? So many foods that come in a single portion actually contain multiple servings. So that's where things can go wrong. So say this was a larger bottle and it was, a Gatorade or even a soda, okay? In my head, I'm thinking I'm drinking 1 bottle of soda. That's my portion, right? I'm gonna drink this. But if I looked on the back, it's 2.5 servings, which means I gotta take that sugar. It's 2.5 servings. I gotta double that plus. I have to double the calories plus, the sodium plus. That's why things get, this would be a serving. So say you had a soda, a juice, whatever, that would be a serving, okay? But when they come in the larger portions, that's what we tend to have. And we don't wanna waste. We never wanna waste, right? So the portion distortion, I love this little picture here because this is so true. All right, so the first one shows what we would get in the restaurant. It's a 1/2 pound of cheeseburger, French fries, 3/4 cup of ketchup, tomato slice, and lettuce. 1,345 calories and 53 grams of fat, okay? That's just in that. So when people are saying eating really well and they want their cheat day, it's a cheat meal. It's enjoy the meal, because look at how many calories that is. A pound of fat is 3,500 calories. So if you have a cheat weekend, which people do, that's what happens. I do so well during the week, I eat so well, I do this, I do that. Then the weekend comes and you end up gaining back what you did so well, right? And then Monday comes and you start all over again. So you have to keep in mind a cheat meal. Now if you look on the other side, this is what the serving really should be. A quarter pound of the cheeseburger, half of those french fries, 2 tablespoons of ketchup, sliced, and lettuce at 685 calories, 33 grams of fat. 685 calories, if you put that plate full with vegetables, you could have 2 pieces of fish, half a sweet potato, like food wouldn't even equal that 685 calories. So that's why we say a calorie isn't such a like it is, but it isn't. Do you follow what I'm saying? So this just adds up. And then the sodium that goes with this, the sugar, you know what sugar's in ketchup? Certain things that you don't realize, okay? And now we're back to, so once in a while, fine. But we've talked about this, or we were talking over here, someone was talking about the portions. I always bring up my friend Val, who we used to tease, because we'd all go out and she'd cut everything in half, we're like, oh Val, really? And then she would always say, who wants to split a sandwich, or who wants to split the meal? And we're like, in your head you're like, oh, I might be starving if I do that, right?
No.
Come on. So she still does that. Everything is this right side. She's kept her weight the same for 25 years, and she doesn't give anything up. She's not like, oh, I'm gluten-free, oh, I don't eat chocolate, oh, I don't have alcohol. She has the one drink, and then she has the water. Or and it's like, but it takes discipline. But you just have to start. Once you start that, you don't need all this.
How often do you go out to lunch with her? Not often, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're all like, oh, Val's coming. But, that's all we need. And if we try not to get the fries with the meal, we say, okay, give us one small order of sweet potato fries. And everybody takes a couple, and that's all you need. Same with the dessert. We all want a little taste, right? My husband always, he's like, Tammy, are you getting the dessert or not? Because I know what's going to happen. I said, I just want a bite, though. Everybody and that's all you need. So the waitress, they'll always know if we go with a group of friends, bunch of spoons, one dessert, take a little bite, and you're done. Because why? We don't need all this. It is just going to get stored as fat and bring us down. So on the back is just some quick little tips that you can take with you for this. And again, you can go to the hand symbols. It tells you everything, like a domino is a serving of cheese. And when you go to a party, you're chit-chatting, how many dominoes are you eating? Okay, a serving is 1 domino. Compare the marketplace portions again. A regular bagel, which was a half a bagel is a serving, 1 ounce, the other is 2 ounces. A big bagel in a store is nearly 6 ounces. That's nearly 6 servings, okay? So we don't realize it. And again, all these supersized bags, if you buy the 1 big bag of nuts and you do this and just pick some out, you're gonna eat 10 times more than that little package that you buy, Share the meal, cut in half, use a smaller plate, slow down on the second helpings, which is those 2 hormones. Ghrelin, which is I'm hungry, growling, I'm hungry, okay. Then it takes 20 minutes after you finish your last bite for leptin to kick in, which says I'm full, I'm satisfied. But we don't wait. That's why I say, go check the email quick, go throw a load of laundry and come back out. If you're like, I'm starving, if Tom says I need another piece of fish, then he's starving. But if he comes out and goes, well, I don't want the fish, I'd rather have the ice cream, that's not a true hunger, okay?
Good.
Any questions?
Any questions, Tammy? Any comments?
I just have one other little way to think about slowing down. Put your spoon or fork down between bites.
Yep.
Does help.
And some people have coached in groups I've been with, chew a bite 20 times.
30, it's actually 30, imagine.
We had a coworker who did those 2 things, and we just watched her fade away. I mean, she almost lost too much weight, but it was traumatic,
Isn't that
and
crazy?
she wasn't hungry. She wasn't hungry, she didn't feel deprived,
No.
because she slowed down enough to let the leptin kick in.
Yeah. And digest your food.
Right.
We don't digest. We eat so fast. Chewing starts the saliva, which starts the breakdown, especially of carbohydrates. And we're eating so fast, we're in our car and we're doing, it's true. I mean, I've done it plenty times where it's like, you look down thinking, oh no, there's more. I didn't just eat all that, it's gone, right? You're like, I must be missing it. Because you have to be, put the fork down is important.
Yeah. So again, it's a kind of a mindful approach to
Yes.
eating, in the
Yes.
sense that you're eating to enjoy the food, and you're eating to take your time, and hopefully you have company with you that you can have a conversation and enjoy the moment. So, back again.
Do you have any tips on how to transfer this to an 11-year-old boy who heals his food?
I know, that's a tricky one, cause I
Every day, I'm saying, slow down.
have two of them.
It's just,
Well, they love, right? They love, I mean,
and the ketchup he eats is like
I know,
4 times he replaces the ketchup as he's eating.
I know.
What's his, is he a big boy?
He's gonna be if he doesn't
Yeah.
learn some techniques.
But he's active?
Yeah.
Good.
But he's
So-
got love handles.
Yeah.
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 It'll change, but they do, they eat so fast because they're in a rush to get whatever they're doing. Now, does he have a phone already?
No,
Okay, doesn't
he
have a phone.
wishes he had.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so usually stuff like that, it's more, you know,
Wanting him to sprout up and then he'll thin down.
he will. My son's 14 and still hasn't sprouted, keeps waiting. And you know what I mean? So it will happen. But again, it's more about the fast, not so much the sugar and stuff like that. Like who's making his meals?
Me?
Okay, and are you making stuff that he likes only, or that,
No, I make him eat stuff that he doesn't wanna eat.
right?
Try.
Yeah, it takes many times to like a food, sometimes. Well, maybe you can do a race the other way, where whoever takes the longest to eat,
Oh.
right, gets points. And it could be something not food related for a little treat, but they love those little games, you know. But again, count how many times he can, you know,
We've done the counting, that doesn't
chew,
work.
right, they're kids, I know.
There may be are there some brands of ketchup that have
There are,
less,
I'm just gonna
less
tell her
sugar?
that there's there's some
You
less
have to
sugar,
look, but-
less sugar ones, as soon as my son sees the label organic, they just automatically think it's, you know, gonna
Right.
taste so horrible, and not,
He likes almond milk.
Great.
I mean, he likes
instead of dairy.
vanilla flavored, but.
That's
it's a product.
instead of dairy. That's great. But yes, the ketchups. Look for the different ketchups because there's a lot of them with none of the fructose anymore. And then there's some lower sodium, lower sugar. But if again, what's the serving of ketchup? Do you know? So you have to kind of he takes his ketchup and you take it away. I know it sounds, but we do have to kind of be a little. Trust me, the kids like that's good enough. That's all you need, and they'll survive. But we'll try to think of some tips. I thought he was maybe eating junkier food, but he's just
I
rushing.
don't even buy it because I'll eat it.
Right, good. Well, that's good. See, you know that about
Doesn't
you.
mean he doesn't get it.
You know that about yourself. No, they get a treat, and we talk about that all the time. If you're gonna get an ice cream and he wants ice cream, you go get the ice cream. Don't bring the ice cream home. Don't have the package in your house. Don't bring the cookies home. They're gonna eat it. Anybody that buys any of that at the store, you're going to eat it. Whether you say you're not going to, you're going to, because it's right there.
Okay. We got a guest speaker, Dr. Oz, who's gonna tell us a little bit about clean eating.
Today I'm going to show you how to eat clean. While the phrase clean eating has become trendy, the actual principles of eating clean couldn't be more old school. It's about eating foods in their whole natural state and eliminating inflammatory chemicals, hormones, and other additives. Ditch all processed foods and opt instead for fruits and vegetables, whole grains, unprocessed meats, and dairy. Know when to buy organic. Eliminating pesticides from your produce can be expensive, so only buy organic when it really matters. Generally, if you're going to eat the peel, you ought to buy organic. Skip sugary drinks like soda and juice and stay hydrated with water. Eat at home as often as possible. Making your own food is the only way to know what the ingredients really are. If you want to learn more, be sure to check out clean eating guides and recipes right here on DrOz.com.
And when he talked about the organic, we talked about the EWG working site for the water. They put out a list every year, the Dirty Dozen. So they will put out a list of fruits and veggies that have the highest pesticides. So yes, if say like strawberries are on it, so say you love strawberries, you eat them all the time, you might want to spend the money on organic for that. But as far as the other list that they say clean 15, like asparagus and certain other ones, no need, no need. So you can kind of budget it that way.
Is it on the outside? I mean, I take my strawberries and I
It's,
manipulate them underneath the
yeah,
water.
it's hard to get it off. It is amazing too. We did, there is a veggie,
The spray.
cleaner, the organic stuff, right? And when you put it in, it is just alkalizing water is amazing. We took tomatoes with pesticides and put them in the alkalizing water, and it was amazing. The stuff that came off was so disgusting, like the wax and everything, and the taste was so much better just being, having that out. So, but that was the like acidic or the whatever water, the alkalizing water. So.
Okay, so, on your challenge, maybe there's an opportunity for you to eat less processed foods, okay? Just, maybe there's one particular food that you eat on a daily basis that's processed, and good opportunity to sort of try to kick that aside over the course of the next 30 days. So next item on the list is to move daily. The importance of just being active and moving, walking. Walking is one of the most beneficial things that you can do, and it's one of the easiest things that you could do. We talk about 15 and 15. Research says that if you, the best time to walk is 15 minutes after eating a meal, for 15 minutes. That's just as beneficial if you walk during the course of the day for 30 minutes or for 45 minutes. So, but the important part of that is just to move daily, and nothing is more beneficial, again, than walking. We're going to have a little clip on that also. In the there's an expression that's being used now that sitting is the new smoking, because as a society, so many people sit during the course of the day because of their work situation, and they're just not. We're a society that's not up and moving as much as we should be. Okay. So, health benefits of walking daily. Helps in weight loss, improves your heart health, reduces chronic diseases, prevents cancer, delays aging, lowers your blood pressure, reduces stroke risk in women, decreases diabetes risk, increases lung capacity, sugar cravings are low, improves mood, prevents a disability in an old age, improves varicose veins, improves immunity, speeds up digestion, and reduces dementia risk. So again, a lot of benefits just by walking. How many people here walk on a daily basis, okay? Or do some type of movement on a daily basis? But again, this may be one of those things on your challenge, your 30-day challenge. Try to make it a point to, even if you're not walking, say for 15 minutes on a daily basis, try to make it a point to do that. And you'll be surprised the results that you can see just by doing that, okay? A little video here.
We all know that walking is one of the best exercise one can do with less effort. However, there are lots of amazing health benefits it can offer, which you may not know. Let's see some of them in this video. Starting with benefit number 5. Walking makes you energetic. A casual walk is one of the best natural energizers we could find. It boosts circulation and increases oxygen supply to every cell in the body, which in turn makes you feel more alert and alive. The best time for a walk is during the morning and evening. Number 4. Walking strengthens your heart. Walking is one of the easiest and great cardio exercise, which can reduce the risk of heart disease and stroke. One of the interesting facts about walking is that it can lower levels of LDL or bad cholesterol, while increases the level of HDL or good cholesterol. The Stroke Association says that A brisk 30-minute walk every day can help to prevent and control the high blood pressure that causes strokes. In turn, reduces the risk of having another stroke by up to 27%. Number 3. Walking makes you happy. Yes, exercise can boost your mood, and walking is the best and effortless exercise for that. Studies show walking is just as effective as antidepressants in mild to moderate cases of depression, which releases the feel-good endorphins while reducing stress and anxiety. So, for positive mental health, walking is an absolute must-to-do exercise. Number 2. Boost your immunity. According to the recent medical studies, having a moderate-paced walk for about 30 to 45 minutes daily can increase the number of immune cells in your body. And over a period of time, it can really have a remarkable effect on your body's ability to fight disease. To be more specific, walking at least 20 minutes a day could reduce the risk of getting sick by almost 43%. Number 1. Walking helps you lose weight. Weight loss is a drastic problem which most people are facing today. Good news is that walking can help you lose weight. Walking is a steady state exercise, resulting in moderate levels of heart rate. Moderate heart rate, sustained for 45 to 60 minutes, is advised to lose fat. Well, this can be achieved by walking on a regular basis. It is estimated that 2 kilometers of walk can burn up to 100 calories. So include that short walk into your daily routine and you will shed the pounds in no time. So, these are the amazing health benefits of walking. Make walking a habit in your daily routine and feel the difference. Consider to give it thumbs up if you find it helpful and comment your suggestions below.
Okay, so again, very, very beneficial and very simple and easy to do. It's just disciplining yourself and taking the time each day, if you can, to just go out and walk for 15 minutes. So,
And the no time, my friend Robin opened up a gift shop, and she's so busy because she runs it, and she's ordering, and she's doing everything. Well, her blood pressure, little by little, is starting to go up. And I said, Robin, I don't have time. I said, you're the owner. How many stores be back in 15 minutes on the door? If somebody needs something, that badly, they'll come back. She's like, I don't know. So she's doing it twice a day. She's doing that, and then she just started a little bit of some beet powder, and it's dropping and dropping, and she's like, oh my God. And she clears her head. I'm like, you're the owner. Just put it, I'll be back in 15 minutes. You see that all the time when people go for breaks, right? So everyone can make the time.
And that's the other thing too, is to, again, bring in the mindful aspect into it. When you walk, is to be mindful of the season, notice the smells, notice the, what nature looks like, and the sounds of the birds and so forth. Really sort of make it a mindful opportunity to quiet the mind. We have a fellow in our neighborhood who walks, and we were talking about this last night. He walks and he has his phone with him, and he's walking, his head's down. And I swear to God, he has almost, I have to stop when I pull in onto my street, because he's walking, and a couple of times he almost walked right into my car. I mean, he's on his phone and he's looking, but make it a mindful experience. So, anybody, any comments, questions?
Some very famous, brilliant people have claimed that they've had their best thinking while walking or biking, like Einstein is one, and Charles Dickens apparently was a walking addict. He used to walk at night through London and write his stories in his mind. And the kids that walk or bike to school do better in school with less behavior problems because they've gotten the exercise going. And
That's right. Good. Anyone else? Good. Okay. Breathing and quieting the mind. Okay, another one of those mindful moments. But the importance of breathing deeply every day to stress less in meditation. Okay. I'm going to let Tammy do the reading. what?
Triggers the calm response, boosts the immune system and the digestive system, can lower blood pressure and settle the heart, stimulates thinking, creating, and problem-solving parts of the brain, builds compassion and connections, and it feels good.
Okay, just a little bit, another short video that's gonna talk a little bit more about the importance of deep breathing and just quieting the mind.
Breathing is something we take for granted. We do it every minute of every day of our lives. But how many of us truly engage in deep and controlled breathing? This technique, which involves slower, more meaningful inhalations and exhalations, may be the secret to overall health and longevity. The average adult takes 15 to 20 breaths per minute. Yet medical textbooks suggest the normal rate for adults is 12 breaths. Older textbooks provide lower values, between 8 and 10 breaths per minute. It would appear that our modern rushed lives have influenced our breathing too. Why not take the time to slow down and discover the health benefits that regular deep breathing exercises can bring? 1. A healthier heart and circulatory system. Taking in more oxygen means the heart and other vital organs can function more efficiently. In fact, deep breathing can bring many of the same benefits of aerobic exercise because they both work to deliver an increased oxygen supply. With an increase in oxygen comes improved circulation and the benefits that can bring. 2. Less stress. We're often told to take a deep breath when stressed or anxious for a reason. It really works to calm the mind. Stress or fear triggers our sympathetic nervous system to kick into action, causing us to secrete these stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline. This is known as the fight or flight response. By breathing deeply, taking in plenty of oxygen, we can call on the parasympathetic nervous system to switch off these hormones, thus reducing stress and increasing calm. Focusing on our breathing also helps to keep us in the present moment, allowing us to switch off from the thoughts and fears which are causing our stress. 3. Detoxification. One of the greatest benefits of deep breathing is its ability to aid detoxification of the body. When we take shallow breaths, we're not ridding the body of as much carbon dioxide, the waste product of gas exchange, as we can. If we don't efficiently remove carbon dioxide through breathing, other organs must take over the task, causing additional stress and increasing our risk of illness. 4. Better sleep. Those who have trouble falling asleep may want to focus on their breathing at bedtime. By being in the here and now, letting go of the worries of yesterday or tomorrow, you can experience a sense of relaxation and calm, which may help you drift off. Some experts even believe that breathing techniques can help you fall asleep in just 60 seconds. 5. Natural pain relief. There's a reason expectant mothers are told to practice modified paced breathing in the weeks leading up to their due date. It's the body's natural pain management system. Deep breathing releases endorphins, which boost our mood and naturally kill pain. Taking in more oxygen also promotes better blood flow and energy release, which gives us the boost we need to manage pain and physical exertion. 6. Happiness and mental clarity. Deep breathing is a form of meditation, which is known to promote mental clarity and greater happiness. By focusing on the rhythms of the breath and the rise and fall of the chest, your mind can truly switch off from the outside world and focus inward. This type of breathing also switches on the parasympathetic nervous system, which calms the excitatory and stress-inducing neurotransmitters, leading to relaxation and a quiet mind.
So a lot of people go, the deep breath is confusing because they think up here. So I know we're like halfway in for a minute, but if just place your hands just down and you want to just put your fingers together for a minute. People, when they take the deep breath, again, that's not a deep breath. It's a shallow breath. You're actually, when you inhale, you want to push out. Your fingers will open, and when you exhale, you're deflating the balloon. So you're actually doing opposite of what you would think. So when you inhale, you're filling the balloon. And when you exhale, you're deflating it. So let's inhale 4 and exhale 7. If you want to close your eyes, you can, either one. So here we go, I'll count it for you. Ready? It's inhale 2, 3, 4, and exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, it's inhale 2, 3, 4, exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So you feel the difference. It's different than people do the, that's like, I'm stressed. That's like you just ran and someone's chasing you. Okay, that's not the deep breath. But if you can get in your head that you're actually pushing out, it starts down here, it comes up here last. Okay? Then you start to, like you say, focus in and get your mind to it.
So far we've gone through 4 different choices. I don't think there's anything here that's that challenging or that difficult to do, right? But really, 4 choices that if you try to do on a daily basis, I think you'll find a nice improvement in your overall health.
And Dave, if you back up, you had meditation on there as well. And so we were talking about, a lot of people last night were saying, well, how do you meditate, right? And they were saying, no meditation is wrong.
Yeah.
There's no wrong way. There was a nice app that somebody uses that he said is great because they have so many different kinds, and they have bedtime stories. 2 people actually used it. It was Insight Timer. So INSIGHT timer. And they said what was nice was because when we tried, that's why I liked when David did this once, the guided meditation, because you sit there and you try to do your breath and then you're like, I'm not calm, okay, I'm thinking about everything, okay, stop, I have to clear my mind, this isn't meditation, it's not working. When the word sometimes comes out, when you're breathing and you hear family, now you have something to like go to, and then you think of all these thoughts of family or love or whatever the word might be. So this little app can do that, and they also say it has like little bedtime stories to help you calm down to go to sleep, which is the next topic.
Okay, so sleep and rest. Sleep is an opportunity, obviously, to recharge the body. And what's important, we talk about different foods, but in terms of supplements, which most Americans have a shortage of, are deficient, is in calcium and magnesium. The calcium and magnesium are quite important, critical in helping you to sleep. So, let me see.
Yeah, so the magnesium is what pulls the calcium out of the blood to actually go into the bone. So it's important to have the magnesium as well. And a lot of times the 3 will be the D3, will be in that as well. And most people do best in the evening taking that. If you're taking a real calcium supplement from your doctor, it's usually going to be broken into 2 portions to be absorbed. It's usually going to be supper and then before bed. But magnesium also is a muscle relaxer, so it's going to help like the restless leg and certain things, and it's an added help you go to the bathroom as well.
Tammy, I'll let you do
Sure.
the reading.
Sleep keeps your heart healthy, may prevent cancer, reduces stress, reduces inflammation, makes you more alert, bolsters your memory, may help you lose weight, naps make you smarter, sleep may reduce your risk of depression, and sleep helps the body make repairs. They're saying more and more that it is like detrimental. We just do not get enough sleep to repair and regenerate. The people who do feel so much better, and it's crazy. And that's where, when we're talking about even people having the alcohol before bed, you're gonna have a glass of wine, it's gonna put you out right away, but you are not gonna deep sleep. You're not gonna wake up feeling rested. The naps we were talking about, and Steve last night was saying, if it's a nap where you're falling asleep at your desk and you need a nap, that's a problem. But if it's scheduled into your life, into your day, and you know every day at 10, you lay down for 15 minutes, it can be very beneficial.
After you walk for 15 minutes.
After you walk the 15 minutes.
So, we have another short video. Mayo Clinic.
get enough sleep, now you're cranky, right? Then you need the caffeine, right? Because now the caffeine's gonna try to hopefully, boost you back up, and then you're gonna crave more of the sugary type stuff to keep you awake and that type of food, and then it just keeps going. But a lot of people who wanna get more sleep, again, how do you do it? You don't just go from going to bed at 12 to going to bed at 10. It's not gonna happen. You're gonna lay there with your eyes wide open. See, you need that sleep, Nancy, look at you. So it's more, they say, a 10-minute increment. So if you go to bed at midnight, you try 10 of for a few days, maybe a week, and then you try 20 of. And you start to regulate your body that way, and you get up at a regular time in the morning, you don't drag it off. Because when you sleep later in the morning, that doesn't do it. It's when you go to bed.
Okay, so just like we just did a little breathing exercise, we're gonna all take a nap, about 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think sleeping is one thing that most people struggle with. Anybody here feel the same, that you struggle with, if anything, you struggle with sleeping, either falling asleep or getting enough sleep? I know there's some people that are very good at that, but I would say a majority of us probably struggle with that a little bit. So, emotions and compassion, okay? Limit stressful emotions, because what happens when you have stressful emotions, what does that bring on? Stress, right? Okay, when you have a lot of emotions that you just don't enjoy being involved in, it brings up your stress level, which is not healthy for you. Compassion and kindness are two ways of reducing the stress, right? Okay, never apologize for being sensitive or emotional. It's a sign that you have a big heart and that you aren't afraid to let others see it. Showing your emotions is a sign of strength. Okay? So again, the importance of quieting the mind, and one of the ways to quiet the mind is to try to limit the amount of stressful emotions that you have in your life. And we all have it. I mean, we all have some type of stress, right? I don't think there's anybody that can say, geez, I don't have any stress in my life. Okay, we all have some type of stress. But it's really finding being able to manage the stress and to reduce the stress and to be able to quiet the mind as frequently and as often as you can during the course of the day.
And with the emotions, people aren't they're not mind readers. So if Diane's upset with something, if she just keeps that in, it's just gonna look like Diane's just a bitch, right? Because she just doesn't, and if people aren't mind readers, if she was to say, Nancy, it's awkward when blah, 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 you don't know. Share the emotions. Or if someone does something nice, or you think they're doing a good job with something, share that. Like we hold all that in, and people are not mind readers. So even like at work or with your family, they can't always tell. So you need to not bottle it down.
Okay. Relationships, okay? You want relationships to be positive ones with yourself, family, friends, and others. One of the key words here, I think, is self, okay? Because so many of us are so hard on ourselves, right? We like to beat ourselves up and be critical of ourselves and say, boy, was that foolish of me to do this? I'm stupid, I'm this, I'm that, okay? It's kind of a common trait that many people have. But you want to try to reduce that. There's a study that's been going on at Harvard University now for over 75 years. We're going to look another short video clip on that. We did a whole segment on that, I think last year or 2 years ago, on the TED Talk that is given on this study. So this is just a short segment, but I think it's going to really summarize what we just sort of talked about. The 75-year study from the most important factors, found the most important factors in human happiness. I don't know why they cut off, but anyway, it's a video.
I think it just goes through slides. Is it a video?
Yeah, I guess it is a slide.
It's just slides.
Okay. I had a video, I guess I must have video to save some time. Okay. Community, pay it forward. Okay, get involved, connects you with others, and it feels good to make a difference and to help others, okay? Again, that's all part of trying to get into a community, or a positive community, okay? No matter what it is, there's so many opportunities out there today to get involved and do something to make a difference, and to, when you're doing something to make a difference, not only are you helping others, but you're, I think, getting something in return by feeling good yourself. Pay it forward. It's about caring and sharing. It's about compassion and kindness. It's about generosity. It's about sacrifice and love. You get what you give, so give good. This is we used this video before. I think it's kind of that's a nice one. Whoops. Make sure that so much with that. Pretty good luck.
You done very, very well. I don't remember this one though.
Yeah, you. For some reason, wrong place.
If you need to grab another little shake or some fruit or some water or run to the bathroom if you need a little break, does anybody need a break? No? Okay. Awesome, and we'll continue.
Okay, sorry about that. Daily attitude. Last month we had Lawrenceville High School Principal Pat Clark talking, and he showed us a clip, and he talked about living above the line and below the line. Okay, when you're above the line, you want to seize possibilities. You work to solve problems. When you're below the line, you're one who finds fault. You deny a lot, and you see failure. So it's being optimistic. It's being pessimistic. It's somebody who's always looking at life as the bottle half full or half empty. So this was kind of an interesting video on the importance of daily attitude in being somebody who is above the line as opposed to somebody who is below the line. These are all the various factors that he talked about. Amy, I'll let you shoot kind of.
Just the ones that you want to strive for, you hope to be, is people who are, they take action, their accountability, they feel responsible, they're open, they're optimistic, they're responsive to decisions. People below the line, those are the ones that they're always blaming the other person. There's always an excuse as to why they're not doing it. They're in denial, they're very defensive, pessimists, focus on the problem instead of solving the problem. And we all have that in us, we all have both of these in us, but where would you rather be? And you notice those people, when you start to be more above the line, it's amazing how you start to see the people below the line and you feel bad. You actually start to feel bad that they don't almost know how to come out of that. So you try to help them. And again, people will respond. If you're always, trying your best to be chipper or doing things for others, they start to learn, like, you know what, she's always doing that. Like, I don't do anything for anybody else. I need to start doing that. Just little things like that.
Okay, anybody? Go ahead.
I deliver Meals on Wheels once a week. And now I have 11-year-old and an 8-year-old that live with me. So, of course, the children have been with me. In the beginning, Jacob, I'm not doing that. I have to go, but I don't like it. And I'm not doing any of the deliveries. Well, guess what? Now he's asking to make some of the deliveries.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And I have 2 neighborhood kids that come along too. And they fight over who's gonna deliver the food.
That's a fabulous one,
That's
actually, for
terrific.
kids, because that's a real good one.
And you know what else they get to see?
Yeah.
They get to see how other people live, which is not, in the town of Barnstable, is not always good.
Exactly.
So
And
hopefully
they get
they
that
appreciate
compassion.
what they have.
Right, that's a great one for
Yeah.
kids. They don't think about the
Yeah,
Meals on
that's
Wheels
great.
to help out. That's a good one
Yeah,
for the kids.
yeah, but it's important to promote that contribution to the community at any age, I mean, I think the schools here in Barnstable are very good in encouraging the students to do stuff like
I
that.
love the clip you show with the 2 booths. So it's the complaint line
Oh, yeah.
and the gratitude line.
Yeah,
Everyone's in the complaint line,
Yeah,
and there's
yeah.
no one in the gratitude line. And it's so true, because it's just,
Yeah.
I don't know if we just get hooked into it, or we just think, I don't know, it's just a habit, or we,
Yeah.
I don't know.
In talking about gratitude, this is final item on the list for this evening, is living with an attitude of gratitude. And there's so many ways of doing that, but the important ones are just being one who to say thank you and to complain less and to praise more. I mean, it's just, it's living with that positive attitude as opposed to a negative attitude. And, you know, stuff like this, you don't, you know, when you go to the doctor, how many times does the doctor
Right.
say to you, this is what I want you to do, I want you to be a little more grateful in your life.
Yeah,
I want you
complain less.
I want you to complain less, I want you to
Imagine though,
drink
how
more
cool would
water,
that be?
okay? But, you know, they'll give you, maybe take this prescription of that, you know, drug or this drug, okay? But, you know, this is, again, everything that we're talking about here tonight is all pretty simple things to do, but I think if you really sort of focus on some of these things, and hopefully you're doing most of them anyways, you're gonna find a true health benefit. So, gratitude is the best medicine. It heals your mind, your body, and your spirit. It attracts more things to be grateful for, okay? Gratitude is the best medicine. Anybody? No? Jay?
I have one memory about thanking somebody. My dad was buried in a VA cemetery in San Antonio, and they just keep those cemeteries really pristine and neat. And I happened to be in line at some kind of a window soon after that, and I recognized a fellow standing next to me he either had on a vest or a jacket, and he was one of the groundskeepers. And I said, I have to tell you, you are doing an amazing job. This is just a real tribute to all the veterans buried here, and I just wanted to thank you for doing such a good job. And he said, thank you for saying that. He said, I've done this job for 22 years and nobody's ever thanked me.
Imagine.
Wow.
You know,
It does, makes you emotional, because you're like,
Yeah.
what?
I
How
was
can you
just,
look at this?
you know, it was just spontaneous. I wasn't, but I was shocked that you know, he didn't remember being thanked. And it's an easy thing to do.
Simple.
But if there was something that wasn't right, do you think he would have heard a complaint?
Oh, yeah.
Everything, I'm sure.
Whenever I see anybody in a uniform or just a veteran's cap, I always tell them thank you for their service.
Yeah, it's great.
My kids always get embarrassed, like, Mom, you don't even know those people. It's like, I know, but that's okay. And the next thing you know, it's like, oh my gosh, now they're coming over, they're eating with us, they're doing, but it's, again, stuff like that, to say thank you, or do you need help with the grocery, or whatever it is, and then.
So again, this is a 30-day challenge that we want you to look at and consider. We're gonna be back the third week in September, on Tuesday, September 17th, we'll be at the YMCA, and on Wednesday, September 18th, we'll be back here at the Centerville Library. And hopefully we can talk about these again, and you can say, yeah, I've done this, and I found that it helped, or maybe it didn't help. But again, I think these are all simple choices that you can make that in the end are gonna make a big difference.
And David, Maggie had something to share.
Okay, yep.
from
I
last
just happened
time.
to mention it
No, that's
to
good, we wanna
Tammy
hear,
when
that's what it's about.
she handed me the portion distortion, and I had to laugh. When I moved here 3 years ago, I had already started a program for type 2 diabetes and to control it without medication. And I was in the process of getting off the medication. And my primary care doctor is somebody that says some of those things, which amazed me. And he sent me to a nurse, a practitioner that worked with their group for diabetic control. And she's since changed groups and has 90 patients that she has to fit in. She helped me continue that process, no medication for the diabetes, still losing inches in weight, eating properly, but she made this easy for me, and they did back at home, but the integrated medicine person that I went to there, they tell you not how to measure and how to count. First they tell you what to choose, which takes the whole stress right off of it. Here's the list of what you want to eat, here's the list of what you might be able to eat, but you're going to have to test it, and here's the list that you shouldn't even think about eating. So if you're serious about it, you push that list aside. You become focused mindfully on what you should. And you don't even look at the maybe I can until you're a couple years into following that first list. Then you worry about what your portions should be. And this becomes so simple because you're so mindful of it. And it starts from making your grocery list to going into the grocery store and following your grocery list. Maybe a couple extra things that are, oh, I can have that, that's on sale. Okay. The mindfulness goes right through to how you put it in your refrigerator or freezer when you see it, and when you're gonna choose it, and then preparing it, consuming it slowly.
And the hard part is, and what you said is all what we need, and you're so aware of it because unfortunately it takes till you get to that point, some people, right? We're like, it's life or death. And now you really, this is it, this isn't a joke anymore. And we're trying to help people, like you say, get to before that point.
Yep.
You know, and that's where, like you say, the portions, if you ate all that carbohydrate as a diabetic, you'd be having serious issues if you ate, you know.
Right. I had more issues with the medication that they were giving me.
Yeah, because it's a bounce up and down.
It messes your system up so bad
Yeah.
that it's like, wait a minute, this is supposed to help me and it's not helping me. What's wrong? So I switched doctors and went to an integrative medicine.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting.
So,
Yeah.
you talk about fermented foods, and because that would be like something I would want to put in, and I'm trying to eat this sauerkraut that I can't bring myself to eat.
I know, Camacho, there's certain different things that we
Any other foods, like what do you think?
I know, so the fermented foods are a tough one, there's not a whole lot of them.
Are pickles one?
I know,
Pickles.
in the
Dill
drink.
pickles.
What was that?
Dill pickles?
Yep, anything, yeah, pickled, fermented. And you know, are you a yogurt person? Yeah, the kefir and the yogurt and,
This is good for the bacteria.
absolutely, it is
For the
bacteria.
fermented.
So it is bacteria.
And
I'll bring something next time on the
Okay.
probiotic.
Okay.
But yes, anything like that is actually live cultures that are eating up the bad bacteria.
It's sitting in the refrigerator, and like, I gotta eat it.
Right, but you're like, I know this is good for me, let me hold my nose and gag it down. No, exactly, there's other ways, and I'll bring in a little sheet, I'll bring it to the Y too for you, when I see you walk by all the time. But that's the hard part, you want the good fermented probiotic foods, but some of them, if you don't like them, it is like gagging it down, and you don't want that to happen, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put that video back on the other two, so we can say it, okay?
Just wondered that.
Yeah, that one.
Which one?
It's
No, it's the one, yeah.
She said
Kimchi.
Yeah.
Kimchi,
No.
yeah.
kimchi,
You can try to drink that.
kimchi.
Yes, there's some that are better than others, so fiddle around.
Just in the grocery store at
Yes.
the,
It'll be right in, usually they put those in, it's in the organic section.
is it refrigerated? I don't
Um,
know, is it something to drink?
yes, oh yeah, something to drink, it's
Kimchi is
refrigerated.
something to drink.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because there's a live bacteria, they can't go in the heat.
Yeah.
How do you spell it?
Kimchi, it's like
Yeah.
Kimchi,
Yeah.
but there's different ones. So there was the first one I had, I was like, oh god, there's no way. And then there's other ones that people love. So I'll try to get the suggestion of the ones my friends are drinking. The Good Belly
So
isn't
in
bad
30
either.
days, I will have had eaten
Some
some
sauerkraut.
sauerkraut.
Yeah, I know. So, again, if you're someone who does do a little dairy, the kefir's great. If you do some cottage cheese, it's the live active. So Breakstone Live Active cottage cheese has the actual, you have to get the one that says live active. They come in little containers. And then you might add a little bit of pineapple or something in it. And again, probiotics are always great. If you take a good probiotic for 30 days, it should carry you for about 3 months of good bacteria in the stomach. You don't have to do it all the time.
Really?
I
And it's
think we,
really good because it has vitamin A and D in it too,
Mhm.
you know, out and most of the stuff does.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get this video to work. This is kind of our signature closing video. Talks about gratitude. We've shown it several times. I think everybody always enjoys it. And we have some people here for the first time, so cross my fingers. Yep. Close.
You think this is just another day in your life? It's not just another day. It's the one day that is given to you today. It's given to you. It's a gift. It's the only gift that you have right now, and the only appropriate response is gratefulness. If you do nothing else but to cultivate that response to the great gift that this unique day is, if you learn to respond as if it were the first day in your life and the very last day, then you will have spent this day very well. Begin by opening your eyes and be surprised that you have eyes you can open. That incredible array of colors that is constantly offered to us for pure enjoyment. Look at the sky. We so rarely look at the sky. We so rarely note how different it is from moment to moment with clouds coming and going. We just think of the weather, and even of the weather we don't think of all the many nuances of weather. We just think of good weather and bad weather. This day, right now, is unique weather. Maybe a kind that will never exactly in that form come again. The formation of clouds in the sky will never be the same that is right now. Open your eyes, look at that. Look at the faces of people whom you meet. Each one has an incredible story behind their face. A story that you could never fully fathom. Not only their own story, but the story of their ancestors. We all go back so far. And in this present moment, on this day, all the people you meet, all that life from generations and from so many places all over the world flows together and meets you here like a life-giving water if you only open your heart and drink. Open your heart to the incredible gifts that civilization gives to us. You flip a switch and there's electric light. You turn a faucet and there's warm water and cold water and drinkable water. It's a gift that millions and millions in the world will never experience. So these are just a few of an enormous number of gifts to which we can open your heart. And so I wish you that you will open your heart to all these blessings and let them flow through you, that everyone whom you will meet on this day will be blessed by you. Just by your eyes, by your smile, by your touch, just by your presence. Let the gratefulness overflow into blessing all around you. And then it will really be a good day.
So again, thank you for joining us tonight. And more importantly, thank you for your feedback, for your sharing of your thoughts and your comments and your ideas. We appreciate that, and as we said, we're far from the experts, so it's always good to hear other people's views on the different things we're talking about. You did your 30-day challenge, okay? I expect you to take care of all those.
Elizabeth, I'm gonna come by your house and check on you.
Yeah, but, so Tom here has a way of videoing you all, so we want to make sure that you're doing at least one or two of these items. Again, hopefully we'll see you here next month. If we don't see you over the course of the next couple of weeks, have a great Labor Day, and hope you've had a good summer. And fall will be here, but as we know, on Cape Cod, fall's a great time of year. So, thank you again. Appreciate it.
Thank you.